Talking about, we're in the middle, actually, of a series on the renewed mind. Certainly not a new subject for us. But I've not talked to you about it, at least at length, for quite a while. The unrenewed mind is at war with God. The renewed mind actually enhances faith. Faith doesn't come from the mind. It doesn't say, with the mind man believes unto righteousness. It's with the heart. Faith comes from the heart. It's not an intellectual matter. But the renewed mind actually enhances the expression of faith because it receives understanding and revelation how God and His world works. It cooperates with and I believe contributes to the lifestyle of faith. In the renewed mind, the Lord is working to change us and to change us thoroughly. Thorough transformation of the human life can only come through a renewed mind. There are many people who have encounters throughout their Christian life, but even being used in the miraculous does not ensure that there'll be a renewed mind. It's what we do with the encounters that we have. The disciples were guilty of experiencing miracle after miracle after miracle, but still looking at life the same way. And the Lord is out to shift our worldview so that we live with a consciousness of God's world. I believe every miracle that we experience in life, from our own personal conversion to seeing a friend saved, to a miracle of healing, whatever it might be, every activity of the supernatural, I believe, is to help us to have our affections anchored in a world we cannot see. The Lord is stirring us to get us anchored affectionately for a world we cannot see. He's looking for a generation that He can entrust the world to. And there's only one requirement: love not the world. To not have our affections seated in this world system, but to actually have it seated in His world. To that generation, He will continuously unfold realms of influence, responsibility, authority, so that that world will have an effect on this one. And it's the privilege of every believer. You can go through life as we do. You can go through life picking up certain Christian habits and disciplines. They're useful, they're beneficial, but in themselves, they do not necessarily bring about the renewed mind. The renewed mind really only comes about in the context of divine encounter. It's encountering the Lord that changes us and our perspective. The renewed mind is at the heart of a transformed people. Just a quick reference to our beginning verse, Romans 12:2. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove the good, acceptable, perfect will of God. The only part I want to make reference to today, I don't want to do a bunch of review today. The only part I want to jump on today is just the reminder that it's the renewed mind that transforms a life. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed in the renewing of your mind. Be transformed how? With a renewed mind. A renewed mind transforms people. Transformed people transform cities. And so the target of the Lord is to change life as we know it on planet Earth. The Lord has absolute full intention of backing His word to any generation that will embrace it and commit themselves to live by it. His decree, His assignment to us, we have two absolute standards to draw from, probably dozens, but there's two that I'll make reference of this morning that to me are monumental. One is the standard of life, the approach to life that Jesus set on earth as it is in heaven. You bind here what's already bound there. That is the model for this world. The believer pulls on the reality of that world until it collides with this one, and this one always gives way. My assignment is to bring that world into this one. My destiny is going to heaven. There's a difference between my assignment and my destination. My destination is heaven, but my assignment is to bring heaven.